ever since we found a massive amount of success in year 2 with 3 Pro League victories, obviously invitations coming later, we felt that the one thing we kind of needed to do the final approach, the final step, was to get more pressure, more professionalism, and maybe like a wider, more international, bigger brand. So organizations talking, that is. Penta was great for us. We had a good time, and they grew us as people, as players. They picked us up and nobody else did, and then there's so reason why we're here in the first place. But we thought that with this success, with this momentum, also should come a bigger gratification on long-term distance or long-term time. And 4 days I think before the Paris major, before flying out here at least, we were told that a big org had interest, but like that's probably G2 at best. Envious, maybe some other teams, we don't know. Turns out to be G2, and we're like, sorry, we can't sign you. We're leaving in 4 days. That's not possible with Ubisoft and ESL because timings. And they go, we got that taken care of. And at that point, we're like, yeah, that's what we want. We want people that can make things happen when we need them to happen and have the content and the resources available. They showed an incredible amount of support and investment in us from the very moment we signed and before. I'll be speaking to Carlos, the CEO, also known as Ocelot. As a fellow League of Legends player, I've looked up to him for many, many years, and seeing him in this like fellowship CEO role now is almost weird to me. And they sold us on a big speech that it's a family, that we're employees, we're not contracted as contractors. And I think the approach of having a home and having a home turf family ground, it was really, really nice to have, because we didn't really have that previously.
There are a lot of reasons why you want to switch orgs. We felt like we wanted to switch up something. Penta supported us from the beginning when nobody else believed in us, and they actually gave us the possibility to do this full time before anyone else really did. Penta has been an organization that have been doing the most for us so far. There's no doubt about that. But we wanted to switch up. We felt like G2 was our next step for us personally, and we went to them. They are also a great organization that gives us a lot more in the regard of we don't have to be contracted players anymore. Now we're actually employees, and that's a major boost for us. It feels like we don't have to do much of the paperwork anymore. Now we can just focus on the playing, and they will support us on that.
I think that everything is more, but everything is less. You know what I mean? There's more of everything, but the simplicity in it makes it so much easier and more simplified that it's not as overwhelming. And things get done really fast, they get done efficiently, and the people that work there, again, they get close to you. It's not just the man in a suit giving you a paycheck every 30 days. It's someone who's there for you. And we haven't had that before, and it's an interesting experience, positively.
So G2 is treating you very right?
G2 is doing, I think, as good as you can for a big org. We are not expecting this at all, so very, very happy.
I think that the most impressive thing to me is the things around the play itself, because the arena is amazing, sure, but it's been that before. I just think that the practice area that we have now, and that we have a lot of PCs that we can use, and we can practice against teams that are already out. Before, it's always been like only the teams that are actually in the tournament can practice, but if you play in the semi-final, you don't want to play someone in the other semi-final because you might play them in the final. So it's like now we actually have the possibility to do practice and be prepared for every game, and still have the support from other teams to help us win, and everyone can actually help each other. I don't think people realize how good friends people are outside of the game, because how often would you see, like, we played against Mockit, we beat them, and then they went out after the second game. This morning they were up practicing us to warm us up. How often do you see that? Like, they come up at 8 in the morning to practice with us to warm us up.
I was a little bit nervous because we had a rocky season. We kind of had a rocky last line in DreamHack. We had some hardships not too long ago with like mentality and arguments and like pointing out people's flaws a lot. So coming to this event, I think is like the big test, like have we listened, have we learned, have we followed what we should have, and most importantly, have we actually picked up on the issues and looked for a solution. And I think so far it's been really good. I just want to keep up the momentum, and even if we lose, I want to lose in a good way. I don't want to lose and be like, oh, you made a mistake and you made a mistake and we should have done this differently. I want to lose and be like, they were the better team, right? And we win because we're the better team, not because we got lucky. And I think that mentality that we're trying out, if it succeeds, we'll be a better team coming out of this, even if we lost.
Was that the same feeling you had during the Pro League finals against Liquid?
Exactly, that's where it started, right? Losing, clap, you're happy for them, right? It sucks that you lost, but you can't change that. If we lost previously, we'd hate ourselves, we'd be like, oh my god, these guys are so lucky, bad players, whatever, excuses, right? And you don't need that. It's not true. Like Liquid beat us as a better team. I'm so happy for them. They're probably the nicest, most humble team out there. They beat us. They called us the best team in the world, but they just beat our butts, right? I think enjoying other people's company success alongside my own is a lot healthier mentally than only enjoying your own and looking down upon the others. So, yeah.
Do you feel like it's momentum because Liquid is now knocked out already? Is the gap like way smaller than?
Yeah, I made a tweet about that actually, that we can pull in. So that the gap is closing, and I don't think it's kind of been open to the public yet. You know, people that like in the power ranking, it was like Mystic Element, Norengo, Obey, Fnatic, like bottom 4. Which like that's not true. Like Mystic played really well, Norengo played really well, Fnatic played really well. They almost made it. Obey actually made it to the grand stage, and I think that it's healthy because. You know, previously it's like the same 4 teams in the top. Arguably, we still have a lot of same teams in the top now, but there's so many contenders that are so close to beating the top 2 teams. It's like, if you have a little bit of luck, or like one good clutch, or a good couple rounds, the difference between the top 2 team and a, you know, almost top 2 team is so small that anyone can make it, and it's so healthy for the scene.
It's good to see though that they're making really progress.
Yeah, it is.
In what they do. Well, what's in G2? What's next? I mean, what are you going to do differently than you did at Penta?
I think we're going to start working on infrastructure, sports psychiatrist, maybe talk about healthier habits like eating, working out, obviously mentality, state of mind, and I think having this new change, new clean slate, is going to be a lot of worries and things off our shoulders that we can kind of just walk a bit lighter, and I hope that will have a chain reaction, just empowering all the positive emotions that we will bring out.
Right.